Hey folks, Benjy here. This video is about how to get yourself out of a rut, out of the trenches. If you've been in a funk for a while where you just are beating yourself up, feeling down, feeling just like you fell out off of the horse and you just don't know how to get back on. You've had perhaps you've had a long streak of not acting out and watching porn or masturbating or acting out sexually for a long period of time, and then you just hit a roadblock or hit a bump in the road and you just are spiraling and cycling. The cycle keeps going back. It's really a depressing state to be in. And we just now finished our group. We had our last call of our 12-week Ascend program with a group of guys that I'm working with. And there's one brother in our group in particular that I want to highlight because we haven't heard from him in a long time, like over a month. He has been just AWOL. He deleted his messaging. We couldn't figure out. We had other groups, we're a support group, right? So we had other members in the group try to reach out to him saying what's going on. No one could reach him. And then finally on our last day, just today, he joined and he kind of updated us on what's going on. And lo and behold, as I expected, he has been just in a rut and he just didn't know how to get out of this cycle of feeling sorry for himself and feeling depressed and feeling just defeated by his porn habit. He was going very strong for a long time, very consistent, showing up to our calls, and then suddenly he was gone. And suddenly he was, acting out very, very frequently, watching porn and masturbating. And he didn't have the courage, to come to our group and just honestly and authentically report and let us know how he's doing so that we could help him gain accountability and support in this area. So in this video, I want to share 4 things that you can do that are really important to help you get out of this situation. And everyone, I guarantee you, everyone who has been working on their sexual integrity and on this journey to kick porn to the curb and kick it in the face and drop kick it to the ground and rip it to shreds and throw it into a volcano, anyone who's done that knows that you're going to be going through this kind of period in your life, this time frame of just not knowing how to get out. So these are some things that you can do, all right? First and foremost, number 1, it's important to realize that the hole you find yourself in right now is as big as you make it. You make your own hole. I often use the analogy with my guys is your sexual integrity journey, your journey to overcoming porn is like climbing a mountain. It's like climbing a mountain. And on this journey climbing a mountain, when you're trying to get to the peak where you can just live and breathe the fresh air and live in the light of high noon, you're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have little dips and little valleys along the way. But the size of that dip, the size of that hole, it really depends on you and how you respond to your slip-ups and to your setbacks. You could, hit a bump in the road and then just spiral out of control and just say, oh, I might as well give in right now. While I'm here, I might as well just act out every day, a few times a day while I'm here, and suddenly that little dip in the road is not a hole, it's a valley. And you just keep digging yourself further and further into the hole. Important to know is that this hole that you're digging, this ditch you're digging, is as big as you make it. You're making the hole as big as it is right now. It doesn't have to be. It could be, if you were to look at this as just a bump in the road on your journey. Let's say you've been clean for 3 months or a month, right? Whatever a long streak is for you, right? A few weeks perhaps. And you're just like feeling really good. And then all of a sudden you're up late at night, you're playing some video games or whatever happens, whatever you're triggered by, you're led down this rabbit hole of content and eventually you watch porn and act out and you just feel sorry for yourself. Okay, and the next day you remember, you wake up and just depressed. And the first thing you would do is, I'm in the ditch already, might as well act out. Or you can decide that morning, that day, okay, God, I'm sorry. Spouse, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I want to live back in the light of high noon. I want to report. I want to be free from this. I want to see this as just a bump in the road, a slight setback on my journey, and just get back on the saddle and keep riding. That's the way to do it, all right? Not to dig yourself into a hole. So the second thing I want to mention that's really helpful for getting yourself out of this hole is to create structure in your day. All right, I know people generally don't like structure. We run away from structure, like a regimen, a schedule, routine, morning routine, evening routines. We run away from that because We are afraid of being pigeonholed and boxed into a corner and boxed into a set schedule, right? But the thing about routine and structure is that if you decide to have structure in your life, it's not dictated by anyone else but you. If you decide to have regimen in your life, then the ball is still in your court. No one is controlling your time. So you can decide to wake up an hour earlier to do some meditation or prayer or hundoke or whatever. You can decide to stay up an hour late to work on something that's really important to you and actually do some self-reflection and introspection so that you can set yourself up for success the next day. That's your decision. So make a routine, like a daily, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What is it that you do during those days? What is your morning routine? What is your evening routine? What is your afternoon routine? What do you do? What do you focus on when you have downtime? That's a really important indicator of how much character and integrity you have, is during your downtime, when you don't have any obligations, responsibility, what do you do with that time? Is your first reaction to go online and watch Netflix or watch porn or goof around online, game? Or is your first reaction is yes, I got some time to do the things that I'm really excited about, time to do some exercise, time to work on the Spartan race that I'm training for. I know Andrew Love just did a Spartan race, so that was on my mind. What do you do with your downtime? Structure your time, and don't run away from structure because you're afraid of being boxed into a strict routine. It's important for you, especially if you have a porn habit, to do this, because the reality is the porn habit and triggers come up any time of day if we're just living every day in reaction to how we're feeling. Oh, today I don't feel like waking up at all. I'm going to sleep until 10 a.m. because I feel like it. Or today I feel like eating garbage for breakfast. Or today I don't feel like going to the gym, or I feel like watching porn. Then your entire life is dictated by how you're feeling at all the time, and there's no structure. So get some structure in your life, right? Number 3, a really good thing to do to get yourself out of this trench is to talk to someone, okay? I know this is probably the hardest thing to do, but it's by far the most important and fastest way to shortcut yourself to the top of this mountain. Talk to somebody. Have some give and take with somebody. It really could be anyone. It doesn't have to be anyone, but just the right person. It could be an accountability partner. It could be a parent. It could be your spouse. It could be me. It could be your joining a group with High Noon and just having accountability every single week. That's how it's set up to give you accountability and connection every week. It could be getting an accountability partner, but tell somebody, just say out loud to a human being, not to the universe or to nature or to a tree, to a person. Say, I have been just feeling really terrible about my sexual integrity. I've just been in a hole and I don't know what to do. I guarantee you, if you do that, it will set you up. We've seen over and over again when people, young folks, older folks, who just say, I'm going to tell my parents, as soon as they do that, something kicks in and they decide to actually take action on that and be more serious about their routine, their structure of their life, and digging themselves out of the hole. When older people who are married tell their spouse, and just the act of having give and take with someone create something new in their life so that they can actually take action and get rid of it. That's the power of give and take. When you just tell somebody, anybody, that will set you up for success, and that will that will jolt you into action to actually move and do something about it, all right? So have give and take. I really encourage you to join a group. I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to check out one of our groups at High Noon. All right, the 4th thing you can do, this is the last one. This one is a lot easier than the previous one, if you're into this, is do something out of the ordinary, all right? I'm talking about just weird and different and something that you will never forget. This will almost guarantee that will jumpstart you to get back on the saddle and keep on riding in your journey, all right? Something like running outside in the rain and screaming at the top of your lungs, or praying, running through the woods where there's no one around, just praying out loud. Go into a car in the middle of the night where no one can hear you and just scream to God and ask for help, ask for guidance until you just are brought to tears. Go outside and clean your street, for goodness sake. That street that you drive down or walk down that's full of cigarette butts and garbage and all kinds of stuff, go there and clean it up. You will not forget that. I don't care if it's freezing or raining, that's even more memorable, but do something out of the ordinary. Go ride a bike across a bridge. Go ride a bike somewhere that no one bikes. Go get lost on your bike, or go take a walk and get lost somewhere in the woods or in your neighborhood, wherever. Do something out of the ordinary, and it'll jumpstart you. Because the reason this is important, guys, is because it's something you won't forget. It's something you won't forget. If you can do something that will ultimately bring you to tears and repentance and realizing, and just be so intense and emotionally involved for you, then you will remember it. And it'll be a kind of a memory for you, that you'll remember that one time where you ran out in the rain with no shoes on, screaming, and you stubbed your toe and your feet were bleeding, and you met someone, your neighbor was there, and he was like, what are you doing? You're not going to forget that. You're going to remember that time where I was at rock bottom. I was so in the trenches, in a ditch, and I didn't know what to do, so I went out and screamed, and that's what I remember. And that feeling is really important. All right? So those are 4 things I want to leave you guys with. Remember that this is a journey. It's an uphill journey, but there is a spot, a nice balanced spot right at the peak where you can live in a full sun and full God's love, and all your friends and family are there, right at the top. And that's where you can maintain, but it takes effort to stay there. It's very easy to lean it's a slippery slope that leads you one side to the other, and it's very easy to see these little dips in the road as giant holes and valleys, but they can actually just be a little hole, a little bump in the road if you let it be. All right, I hope this video is encouraging for you. Please feel free to share it with your folks, people that you love and care about. I'm really trying to just empower you all, and remember that the fight is worth fighting, and you are on the right track if you're working on your sexual integrity in this area. All right, God bless. Take care.